Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. I don't really know if I'm recording or not because my phone is really doing all of these weird things. But we're going to try to do an Ascension reading for everyone today, no matter what. I was sitting outside in my car and there's a big video that I have to do that I keep putting off. But I need to tell you guys the story about Jesus Christ and how I met Jesus Christ and all of the messages and everything and what that really meant. What does it mean you met Jesus Christ? So I need to do that video, but I'm very nervous about it because I don't think anybody, it sounds completely unbelievable. And it kind of threw me into a tailspin, not kinda. It definitely threw me into a tailspin. I have two cameras going, so I might be looking back and forth because I just want to try to catch this. Anyway, I'm just scared. I'm scared to say everything that I saw and everything that, all the messages that came through, because it's deep. I'm going to be saying some things that are deep. And I just need to make sure that I'm right before I open that door, you know. And that's why. And also because I'm writing a book about it and about the messages that I've been asked to give, and the book isn't ready yet. So I just keep going around and around. But either way, I'm giving you guys the messages anyway. So let's just begin today. Thank you for joining me. You know, first of all, thank you all for joining me, and I hope you had lovely holidays with people that you love, doing things that you enjoy. I want to talk about despair, even though that's not my intention today. Let's just talk about a little bit about despair, and I just want to say that if you find yourself, despair is not really even a word that I used before this waking up and this ascension, but it can bring you to despair, most definitely. It can bring you to despair. And I know many people out there may be in despair, as I was, as I have been, as I might be tomorrow, as you might be tomorrow. Despair is nothing to be ashamed of. And if you can please visit my other videos where I'm talking about, which one is it? Healing your emotions, I think. Anyway, there's a video that I've put out that talks about healing yourself. And some of the tools, some of the things that you can do to heal yourself, with your self-talk. But there are other things that you can do too. Oh, and the self-discipline. So yes, it's in the self-discipline video. And it's in the video where I'm talking about healing your emotions. If you could watch those two videos if you're feeling despair. But one thing that has helped me dramatically while I've been in the state of despair is to move your body. Despair, that is such a deep emotion. It's deep, and it doesn't just, you don't just, bam, you're in despair. It's something that has been building and building. Despair is not a light emotion. It's a very heavy, deep emotion that has built up for quite some time. It may even be running in the background, It's in your body. So, when you're feeling the most despair, if you feel like you can't get through the day, if you feel like you can't get through the night, my suggestion would be, if you can do this, is to walk. Walk until you are exhausted. And preferably, well, totally outside. Because walking moves your body. And when you're in that deep emotion where you feel like I'm going to scream, I'm going to do something bad. Because you need to get this out, you know. And these are for people who may be self-harmers too. You need to get it out of your body, this despair. And you're feeling like, oh my God, you know, I can't even explain it. Despair for some people may be a complete, utter depression, which it is. But it could also be this thing that you need to, that just feels unbearable. That just feels unbearable. Whatever you're doing, whatever time it is, if you be safe, okay? But go walk. Just go walk. I have walked 1,000,000 miles since I stopped doing the, you know, the videos that I was doing before, and now that I'm doing messages, you know, I'm doing messages from God, messages from Jesus. I'm on purpose now. I wasn't on purpose before. I'm on purpose now. And it's just because I'm on purpose now, it doesn't make it any easy. Or I think it makes it even harder. But walk. Walk. I've walked 1,000,000 miles. I've walked 1,000,000 miles crying. I have walked 1,000,000 miles in blankness. I've walked in snow. I've walked in the rain. I've walked out of a pair of shoes and couldn't even afford to buy another pair. I walked with holes in my shoes with my feet wet. I've walked in snow and laid in a snowdrift in the middle of the night. I've walked in parks. I know that the things that I did probably weren't safe, and I'm asking you to be safe. But as soon as you can, get outside and walk without any intention. Just get your feet moving and walk until you are completely exhausted. Somewhere in the walk, your thoughts may change. Your frequency may change. It may not. You may leave the house in despair and come back in despair, but I doubt it. I doubt it, because Mother Nature has a way of soothing us. Because as you walk, step after step after step after step after step, you know, that's a rhythm, and it's almost like a meditation. And if you're listening with an open heart, you know, pray. Pray for strength. Pray for guidance. Pray for just to not be in despair. And walk. And the Mother Earth, who breathes through all things, you can start to breathe through her. You know, if you're doing a true, you're not just walking. Look at nature. Look at the sky if it's nighttime. Look at the stars. Look at the moon. Contemplate all that is bigger than you. Contemplate all that is not in your control, and yet it still is. Contemplate the beautiful green. Contemplate the trees. You know, if you go to my blog, I got a message from the trees. You'll hear a message from the trees. The earth moves, it has rhythm, it breathes, and if you will connect with her just through walking, I think you'll feel better. All right, I got this beautiful bell. We're going to use it to reset the frequency. It's my intention to be a channel of divine wisdom, guidance, and unconditional love. All right. So, wow, there's one. We're just doing the affirmation cards today, my affirmation cards that I created. Maybe if I hold them upside down, they'll be right side up for you guys. Because when I combine them with, they don't like being combined with other cards. They're just messages within themselves. So I'm going to ask for the guides to come forward today. My personal guides for the Light Council, who does consist of angels, Jesus Christ, my higher self, pet angels, animal angels, and healing angels are with me. I also have visitors that come through, say what they want to say. So let's just see what comes through today. I did not intend for this to be a long video. So let's see what we can do here. See what we can do. I don't know if I'm recording. I really hope I'm recording. Oh, there's another one. Okay, now one more. Oh, there it is. Must be a lot of messages today. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the first one is, let's see, what do we have here? Making spiritual adjustments, shedding who I am not. I'm being cleansed of darkness in my mind and heart and body. I forgive myself if I fall back into addiction and fear. Let's start with this one. Okay, they just look like this. I am making spiritual adjustments, shedding who I am not. Making spiritual adjustments, shedding who I am not. And I feel that that one also goes with the second one, which is I am being cleansed of darkness in my mind, heart, and body. So let's do these. Okay, I'm making spiritual adjustments, shedding who I am not. So when you're going through ascension, and we talked about this a little bit also in the video where I'm healing myself and I'm pulling in aspects. Well, when you make your spiritual adjustments, basically this is about patience. It's about having patience with yourself because you are making spiritual adjustments. And there is no end. There's always learning. And some are going to be, I have been through the most dramatic 3 years ever in my entire life that I cannot even possibly have imagined before. Difficult. And I keep thinking to myself, oh, this is going to be over. This is going to be over. This is going to be over. It's going to be over. It's not over. It's not over. And sometimes it goes even deeper and even deeper because you start to discover all the things that you need to get rid of, that you need to let go, that is not a part of the I am, that is not a part of the higher self, right? So you're constantly making spiritual adjustments and you have to be patient with yourself. This is about patience and self-love. So say to yourself, I'm making spiritual adjustments. I'm shedding who I am not. Well, how do you know who you are not, right? As you learn the spiritual messages, then what does Jesus tell me all the time? What does I'm just going to say, what does the council say to me all the time? They say, and what does God say to me all the time? This is what God says a lot. Practice, practice, practice. Because I get mad. I get furious, I start crying, I feel like I'm in despair because I can't go back to the life that I once had. And as you begin to awaken and as you begin to ascend and drop these identities and beliefs and everything that isn't you so you can rise, as you do that, all these emotions come up. All these deep, deep emotions come up. But anyway, the lessons that are given are to help you to do these things. But sometimes you just have to practice them, right? You have to practice. You have to practice your spiritual lessons. So you could be very impatient and very angry. Jesus Christ, God, are my best friends. I'm having trouble over those terms. I don't want to talk about those terms. I'm going to say my higher self because my higher self is connected to God. Is my best friend. God is my best friend. My higher self is my best friend. So I talk all the time. I'm writing constantly. I do automatic writing constantly. That's where the most of the lessons and messages come through. And so there are some days that I'm just writing in marker really big stuff to God because I feel like I'm doing all this work and nothing is changing and nothing is happening. This is what this card is for. I'm making spiritual adjustments, shedding who I am not. So what does that take? It takes patience and it takes self-love. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself a whole new bucket of patience every single day. Give yourself a whole new bucket of self-love every single day. Yes, we are becoming masters. And how do you do that? You must master yourself, right? Mastering self, I cannot think of... Master yourself. It's hard work. This is hard work. And it takes practice every single day. So as you're shedding, as you're making adjustments, as you are identifying, oh, you know what? That's not who I am anymore. So let me not act like that. Let me not speak that way. Let me not do these patterns that are no longer who I am anymore. Okay? And that's, all of this is kind of connected. So have patience with yourself when you're making these spiritual adjustments. Remind yourself what you're doing. I am making spiritual adjustments. I am shedding who I am not. I'm practicing my new lessons. I am mastering myself. I'm becoming a master of self. This is hard work. This is hard work. So have self-love and patience with that. This one is about, I am being cleansed of darkness in my mind, heart, and body. So you see how they go together, because that is the spiritual adjustment, right? Being cleansed of darkness in your mind, heart, and body is a spiritual adjustment. What is darkness? Darkness is everything that blocks the light. Darkness is everything that blocks the light. And the darkness that we have inside of us, in our thoughts, in our minds, in our hearts, in our body, to be cleansed of that, you kind of have to get in there, right? And if you get in there, you're going to be real upset, because that darkness came there for a reason. Maybe you're very angry. Maybe you're super, super angry. Maybe you feel betrayed. All of these emotions create patterns, and then we do them over and over again. So you got to be cleansed of them. You got to be cleansed and purified. Ascension is, in fact, shedding, making spiritual adjustments, cleansing, and purifying. How else are we going to rise? How else are we going to rise? How are we going to be light? How are we going to be light? How are we going to be our light body with these dark little kernels of stuff all hidden within our minds, emotions, and our bodies? So you are guided every step of the way of your ascension, and please ask for guidance every day. Ask for guidance every single day. And I know you're watching this video because that's what you're doing. So when you are doing the work, when you are praying, when you are meditating, when you are making the effort to master yourself, when the world is fighting you and you're fighting yourself, the cleansing comes up. And the cleansing can bring despair. Most definitely, the cleansing can bring despair. So it's going to clear out any hatred that you have, any shadows that you have within yourself that are operating underneath everything. Sometimes, and to know what has to be cleansed, okay, you have to see yourself doing it in order to recognize. You have to see yourself and catch yourself doing this, or acting, allowing this darkness to come through you. And you have to catch yourself at it, recognize it, so that you can cleanse it and get it out. Cleansing it and getting it out means recognizing it, just like I said, as you're doing it. Recognize it, and then applying the lessons so that you can get it out of your body, get it out of your heart, get it out of your mind. These are thoughts, okay? Your thoughts, and you have dark thoughts. These are emotions. Deep, deep, dark emotions are hidden within our heart. There's all these little doors in our heart. All these little doors. And I have to tell you that in Ascension, it's like somebody's running down, open up all those doors. And all these things are coming out. So you will find yourself in despair, and you will find yourself in a rage like you've never known. You will find yourself feeling unsafe. You'll find yourself feeling scared. And that's all darkness coming out of your body, coming out of your mind, coming out of your heart, as you purify yourself and shed who you're not. So this also is something that you're going to bring to yourself with patience and self-love. These are the things that you're going to say to yourself. I am being cleansed of darkness in my mind, heart, and body. So let the darkness go. How do you get cleansed of it? Feeling it and letting it go. Feeling it and letting it go. Feeling it and letting it go. But to do that, we have to get to the kernel of why that darkness is there. Right? And that's what the lessons will bring about. It can't all come out in this video. This video is mostly about patience and self-love and giving yourself these affirmations. And recognizing the huge amount of work, what the work consists of. So you may be, and this is the work. This is the work, is feeling your emotions. Watching is observing yourself, becoming a master of observing yourself, your thoughts, your behavior, what you're doing, and in addition to that, the world around you, because that is the reflection of you, right? The world around you is the reflection of you. Boy, okay, I think that's all we want to say about that. We want to go to this last card. I forgive myself if I fall back into addiction and fear. I forgive myself if I fall back into addiction and fear. I forgive myself if I fall back into addiction and fear. Oh, you know what? I've been looking at the wrong camera the whole time, and I don't even know if this camera's on. So forgive me, guys. I think I'll start talking to this camera. I'm so sorry. I forgive myself if I fall back into addiction and fear. So, we all have addictions. We do. And it's okay. It's okay. What is most important about this card is that you know that it's an addiction. An addiction means that it's a pattern that you return to over and over again for comfort, right? For comfort. So that means that there is a basis of hurt and pain there. There is a basis of something that needs to be fixed there. Okay? So because the world is so hard on everyone for having an addiction or for being afraid, you are the only one who can really love yourself through it. And I'm not saying that addiction programs or whatever. I'm just saying that it starts with you and your self-forgiveness and your self-love and having patience with yourself. Having patience with yourself. I think that you should admit to yourself if you have an addiction. We should admit that to ourselves, right? It's okay to admit that you have an addiction to yourself. You don't have to tell the world about it, but you do need to admit it to yourself so that you could recognize what triggers me to do these things. And why am I doing them? How do I get to the basis of why I am doing them? So today, we're going to have patience with ourselves for our spiritual adjustments that we're shedding. Because the addiction is who you are not. Okay? The addiction is who you are not. It's who you are not. The fear is also who you are not. Whatever you're afraid of, that's not who you are. Believe it or not. Whatever you are addicted, when you're practicing addiction, when you are in addiction, to substances, to other people, to relationships, to any kind of a pattern that you're using to not face an issue is an addiction. Especially if you turn to it the moment that you're upset. YouTube can be an addiction. Television can be an addiction. Be patient with yourself and recognize this is who I am not. This is a part of who I am trying to shed. And when it comes up, I know when you're watching this video that you will now have an awareness. You already have an awareness, but you will be very aware the next time you're doing it that this is who you are not. Instead of saying, oh, I'm such a loser and I have to hide this and no one needs to know and all these kinds of things, you love yourself totally and completely as you're making adjustments. Oh, I know, someone's saying, each time it goes right back out. I guess it'll come back. See, they were talking about cleansing. Oh, there we go. So, in the middle of awakening, you may find your addictions to get worse, because I told you that your emotions get worse. So you're deeply, deeply, deeply emotional, because you have to go to the depths of the worst pain that you've ever experienced. And you have to go to the highest high of, I can't even tell you how high. Luckily, I can say that the lowest is balanced out by the highest. It is. It will. It will. You will have experiences with an ascension that are unbelievably wonderful and positive. Right? So all of this that I'm talking about, it does and will be balanced out. Does and will be balanced out. But what they want you to know is that all of these things that I've talked about are coming up for the sole purpose of them to be cleansed. Right? So ascension and awakening can be a very dark period in your life, because all the doors are open. And all the little, I don't want to call them demons, but all those things that you are not are coming out of those doors. They're coming out of those doors, right? And everything that triggers it will be triggered over and over again. Over and over again. And you can't really blame that on anybody. That's your higher self. Your higher self is doing that because it wants to rise. It wants to go to the higher level. It's ready. You're ready, right? But this ascension sounds like it's so beautiful. Tears. It's dark. It's painful. It's dark and painful. You are cleansing. You're adjusting. You're shedding all these people who you are not. And each day when you get up, it seems like whoever's still there, whoever hasn't been cleansed, whatever door hasn't been shut, that person's going to come out. That trigger's going to come out. So it seems like every day there's something else, there's something else, there's something else. And I'm not talking about the regular everyday life and lessons. I'm talking about these deeply emotionally disturbing events and situations that are happening to you after you awaken. They are happening so that you may shed them. They are happening so that you know that they're there. You may find yourself acting in a way that you've never acted in your life, because you've had all these protections, right? You've had this protection and that protection, this protection. You've built them all up. Well, awakening happens, and ascension begins to happen. Begin to work with your guides, and they will just rip open all the doors, whatever way you have that little darkness packaged so that you can control it and handle it is going to be ripped open until it's gone, guys. Until it's gone. And you can't do a half-ass cleaning. You can't, because you can't rise to another frequency with all this darkness inside of you. You have to do the work, my dears. And that's why I'm here, to go to the darkest depths, to rise back up, and to tell you about it, so that when you're there, you know, number one, you're not alone, and number two, why you're going through that, and number three, so that you can recognize these things as who you are not, right? As who you are not. I think we're going to end that today. Oh, that's 30 minutes? Oh my God. I tried to cut them short, guys. Anyway, that's the message for today. Thank you for joining me. Before the holiday, I dropped Expression of God. If you have not seen that video, please watch that video. Self-discipline. They're two very good ones, and I think that they... Anyway, they're two very good ones. That's what I can tell you. And anyway, I hope you go back and watch those two videos. And this is... Thanks... I feel like another thing is coming through, but we gotta stop this video. Okay, so do your walking. Do your walking. They want to remind you that walking. Walk, 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 walk. This is going to get the cleansing. This is going to cleanse it out of there. This is going to... Because it's in your body. These emotions are in your body. So walk it out. Walk it out with nature. Walk it out with Mother Nature. If you can't walk it out outside because it's not safe or whatever, for whatever reason, put your meditation music on and move your body. Put your meditation music on and move your body. I don't care if you have to go into a bathroom and turn the music up there with your headphones on in the dark, but move your body. Because meditation, walking is a meditation that's going to bring you in contact with the Mother, and the Mother's going to bring you in contact with God. Okay? And moving your body to music. Music is the sound of God. We're going to talk about that. I have a whole big thing about sound. Sound is incredible, you guys. And then my last advice for you for today is water. So let's go back to the beginning of the video when I said that there are some people who are in despair. Walk until you are completely exhausted. Come back, get in the shower, get in the water, and say your prayers. That will make you feel better. I promise. Come and join me for the next ones. I'm going to be releasing. So some of these are so long that I just cut out parts of them. The audio ones. And there's going to be more audio because I can't always come to the library and I'm just very unsettled right now. But I hope you do listen to the audio ones as well. But anyway, some of them are so long I've cut out pieces and put them out. But then the other part of it hasn't been released yet. So I'm going to be releasing through the week more audio readings that I would ask you to please listen to. You know, with your headphones on in your car. It's just me and you and all the guides talking in your ears. Thanks for joining me today. I love you all. Thanks. Bye.